What's up, everyone? Hybrid Toy Reviews here with this month's Talking Toys with the Boys, and we have some very, very special guests this month. So, as always, I'm joined by Vincent of Carbonites.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
And we have an amazing guest today. We are joined by Cassidy, the man, the legend, the brains behind Cube Squadron. How are you doing?
I'm great. Thank you so much, Hybrid. I appreciate you having me on.
Absolutely. I've always loved, Vincent can attest, if I find something cool going on in the community, it becomes my next personality trait for a while. I talk about it a lot. And so we're
well, I'm flattered. Thank you.
Absolutely, man. So you've got some amazing stuff behind you, and I hope to.
Yeah, I got a little setup over there.
Yeah, we're just excited to talk about it.
So yeah, looking forward to it.
Can you believe this is his first time streaming to represent for Cube Squadron?
Yes, this is it.
Professional backdrop behind him. That's
yeah. This is the first time I've done this, so we'll see how it goes.
I feel like Andrew Garfield. I'm lame. That's just my bedroom behind me, but
hey, it's important. Yeah,
we're working. Hopefully by January, there's gonna be something cooler going on. So
cool.
There we go.
You got to start somewhere.
Yep. But really quick, we're just gonna buzz through. Say hi to everyone hanging out. So, Utini Designs was very excited. He was here with 106 minutes to go. So I hope you found something entertaining to do for that hour and 46 minutes. So. We have my mom saying first, so except she wasn't
cool,
but she was close.
That's awesome.
Utini is really looking forward to these Cube Squadron displays. A fine addition to my collection they will be. I think we can all drink on that.
Glad to hear it.
So we got Blitz popping in with hello there.
Hey, Tommy.
Max Rebo, how are you doing? Mom,
I don't think you can.
We're running late.
I don't think you can fit Trypticon on the shelf there, Max Rebo. Just putting
that.
It's
going to be a challenge.
It would be, yeah.
So Blitz has been looking forward to this, and Pink Ghost agrees. So I think Tommy's spitting here. Cube Squadron is the next big thing for Micro Galaxy Squadron. I think you're dead on. B-Sum coming in, reminding everyone he's been a member for 2 months. Blitz has been here for 3. So Adelphi Rangers already suggesting an Adelphi base. Can you believe that guy? Thinking that an Adelphi base, why would he pick that?
I don't know. Why would he?
Got 123 Customs. Hope you're doing well as well. So can we only announce our membership duration every so often? I think it gives you one of those a month. So
yeah.
Blitz coming in with some baller advice. Smash that like button. So, and he would have liked it 3 minutes ago, which is, hey, get in where you can. So we got Commander Bly. Evening, fellas.
Hey, Bly.
So, and of course, we got the always awesome Carbonites in the chat. So, we got Cassidy captive here for as long as we want to talk to him about his super awesome toys.
I'm here.
We figure, we'll give everyone a couple minutes to trickle in. We're running a couple minutes late, so that was the first couple of those minutes anyway. But there has been a couple of Black Series reveals, probably 5 minutes of talking. But we figured we would just yap about those for a couple minutes and then get the ball rolling on some awesome Cube Squadron discussion. So I'm going to go ahead and do a little share screen over here. I'm perpetually grateful to Yakface for his thorough coverage of everything going on in the world of Star Wars. But this past Thursday, Hasbro went live and revealed this amazing 2-pack with the Black Series Misty and Cav from Scar Squadron. It's going to be a 2-pack available for pre-order in early 2026. So it's probably going to be later 26 that we get it. I'm not as familiar with Scar Squadron. I've never read the comics, but I know that Vincent is a comic guy and he's adapted them to Carbonite. So I might pass you the talking stick for a second. What do you think about these adaptations?
Yeah, so Scar Squadron in general was just this really cool enigma in the comics. I mean, their leader, Sergeant Creel, a lot of people don't know this, but he's actually an alien. And I think if you're not an Inquisitor and if you're not Grand Admiral Thrawn or Rook, the Empire doesn't really hire a whole lot of aliens. So it always made me wonder, although a lot of the other stormtroopers are wearing very much a standard stormtrooper outfit, are they also aliens under there? We don't really know with about half of them. So Misty is just very cool. Whole lot of mystique and intrigue with the cloak. I feel like for Hasbro, this was the easiest one to do of the whole bunch. So I think this one just makes a whole lot of sense. But I think Cav is the really cool one here with the removable knives or, that come out of his chest, the Winter Soldier like bionic arm. I feel like he, out of the whole group, while they're all very toyetic, he's the one where it's just like, that's the one I'd want to go and play with. Him or Zook, which is like the really big wrecker-sized one. So, Hybrid, something you and I had talked about, what's really tricky about these comics, because they've had a few different illustrators, these characters are drawn different ways despite being the exact same character. And it's not meant to evoke an armor change. It's just meant to show like, hey, certain comic panels pack in more detail than others. So I do think they found a really good happy medium of kind of combining all the different comic styles and making this like a good evergreen Cav, a good evergreen Misty, despite the 2 to 3 looks they actually have in the comics.
Mm-hmm. Really quick, we have based transmissions coming in here with the $5 super chat. Those cubes in the back look horrible, Cassidy. How about he takes them off?
I'll just box them up and send them to you. They're trash.
Yeah, you'll make them. So, my thoughts on the Scar Squadron troopers. I recently picked up Sergeant Creel, and I reviewed him, and I'm happy I have him. But, he's kind of just a stormtrooper with a jetpack and a lightsaber and a couple little extra, he's got like a little computer thing on his wrist. And I said it in my review, it's kind of like when you ask an AI to give you a Star Wars picture,
Yes.
And it just kind of makes the most generic, guy in armor with laser sword, and like that's what it felt like a little bit. And like I'm okay with it because it's a fun action figure. And the Black Series Stormtrooper base body is so fun to pose that, like, even though I don't know anything about these guys, I'm okay with just pretending that I have a little, like, SWAT team of Stormtroopers on the shelf, which I think is kind of what they are. They get sent on special assignment,
Yeah, these feel like they're made to sell toys. As to why they've not done them a little bit sooner, I guess it doesn't really matter at this point. It's just cool that we have them. I mean, these guys are so cool. Definitely one I'd want to pick up and bash together for sure.
Right.
I'm not familiar with them either. So some of them are aliens.
Yes, this is true. Their leader, who's the one who wields the green lightsaber, that's Sergeant Creel. And I had a buddy who was super into Sergeant Creel, still is, although I haven't heard from him in a little while. Which, sorry, this is really off topic. Hybrid, have we heard from David Edge?
We haven't yet.
Okay.
I don't know if we saw on Blitz Transmission's most recent episode with Commander Bly. They were imploring if anyone knows what's going on with David Edge. No one's heard from him in a few months. And David, are you okay? Just give us a sign.
Yeah, absolutely.
But he was a Creel fan. I do recall that.
Yes. So, it's a kind of a fun group of characters for sure. They're pretty one note. They don't really flesh them out in the way that they flesh out like the Bad Batch, but they're archetypal in the same way, the Bad Batch is. And that's kind of why we all fall in love with them anyways. So they have their run-ins with, Luke, Han, and Leia, most notably Luke. And they're some cool antagonists in the comics. I remember like that season 3 Bad Batch speculation, wondering if they were going to bring in Scar Squadron to fight the Batch. And well, we got like a version of an evil, group of Stormtrooper, Clone Trooper guys. This is just one of those really cool special things that only is to be seen in the comics, and definitely so cool to have them in toy form for sure.
For sure. Also, again, once more, based transmissions, gifting 5 Hybrid Toy Reviews memberships.
That's outstanding.
Incredibly based.
Absolutely.
And those 5 went to Hannah Awesome 85, Rala Desi, I hope I'm getting that right, Rain 2187, Shelf Life, get it today, and then Darth Dadbot. So thank you
Love
all
it.
for being honorary new channel members.
Yeah, that's
So,
awesome.
That's great.
James Paulovich asked a minute ago, is anyone going to be seeing Avatar Fire and Ash this weekend? The Avengers Doomsday trailer leaked online, so I don't have to anymore. But
Did you get a chance to actually see the trailer?
I did, dude. I'm so excited. And also the fact that that's the first one has me like freaking out on what the other three could be,
Right? How about you,
Like-
Cassidy? Are you a Marvel fan on top of Warhammer and Star Wars?
Yes, a little bit. Not as much as I am Star Wars, but I am excited to see the trailer. I have not seen it yet. I haven't seen the leaked one.
Ooh, okay. So
But,
we'll keep spoilers light.
Yeah, and I liked the last Avatar. I really liked the first one. The second one was pretty good, but I don't know if I'm going to go see it just to catch that trailer, but we'll see.
Yeah, I guess I would be in it more for the movie itself. I feel like discrediting the spectacle of Avatar for a trailer that'll end up eventually online and I don't know. I guess it already has.
Yeah.
In a way.
Right.
Speaking.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but yeah, James, great question. I hope to see it this weekend, and let me know below if you like the first one better or the second. I'm curious.
I have yet to see the second one. I've been dragging my
Really?
feet. I meant to see it when it was in theaters, and then I just kind of just didn't, and then it was gone, and then it's like, well, it's on Disney Plus, so I can watch it whenever.
Yeah.
So,
well, they'll have to figure out a way to make their $2 billion without you somehow.
right. So I'm sure they'll. Well, you want to know how they're going to get their $2 billion by putting a different Doomsday trailer every week.
Right. Yeah.
But
yeah.
I
love James Cameron. I mean, he's done some amazing work over the years. But,
yeah.
I'll see it eventually. Somehow.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
absolutely.
So this pack, cool pack, but there's a reason they opened with it on the stream. Because, that's TVC. We don't talk about that here. They followed up with some absolute fire. The Plo Koon is heavy reuse of the Mace Windu with the clone armor gauntlets from the first Clones of the Republic pack, but Commander Wolf is on the new Clone Trooper sculpt from 2023, so he's a drastic improvement over the red box version and actually features modern articulation and can do cool things like the Clone Trooper pistol pose where he holds them all the way up instead of just forward like that because he doesn't have elbow articulation. This is like some absolute fire and exactly what I would like to see from these kind of packs. Give me a commander and a Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
But, does anyone have any hot thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I'll pass it to Cassidy on this one.
Yeah. So as I was telling Jake earlier, I'm not a Black Series collector. I know Tommy's going to get really mad at me about that, but
as long as you're a friend of collectors, we're good.
Yeah. They're fantastic though, but I think Tommy was saying something about the legs being reused, and I think Jake, you were too. So those are from the Mace Windu figure.
Yeah. Okay. So Mace Windu came out back in 2018, and that was about a turning point in the line. They were starting to try some new things with articulation, and from the waist up, Mace Windu's pretty okay. And the legs feature these double jointed knees, which would make you think they get more range, and they do. But the knee is really ugly when you break it up in those two places when you bend it.
Gotcha.
And had he come out a year later, he probably would have had single hinge knees that got a similar range and just look a lot better.
Yeah. Okay.
And so it's kind of like, hey, you're reusing all this other stuff. Why don't you just throw a little bit of tooling budget? But how do you twist their arm that hard, I suppose?
Yeah.
But it'll look good on the shelf.
Sure. Yeah, they're fantastic.
I mean, this is all stuff that Hybrid has slowly taught me about over the past year that I've about to know him for now. And I'll be honest, for me, it's like I see Plo Koon and I see Wolf, and I don't really analyze it on an action figure level. And that's why I don't review toys like Tommy and Hybrid and so many others. I guess I've just never had an eye for the action figure side. What I see here is Plo Koon is one of my favorite Jedis. I dressed up as him for 2 Halloweens as a kid, and
Really?
I love Plo Koon, man.
Yeah, he's super cool.
So-
He's one of my favorites too. I remember back. I don't remember if it was one of the early PlayStation games or what, but he had a yellow lightsaber.
Yes,
Jedi
sir.
power battles. Yep.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Yep.
And whenever I think of him in my head, he has a yellow lightsaber, but I know that's not
Yeah.
entirely accurate anymore.
I've been accumulating some of these older games. I see them really cheap on eBay every now and then, like the actual like disc ROM.
Yeah.
Something coming to my channel in 2026 is I intend to do some old Star Wars gameplay like once a week, just play Republic Commando or Jedi Power Battles or something like that.
Yeah.
I figure with Kyle Katarn coming, we might do Dark Forces first, just cover the story of Kyle Katarn.
Yeah.
That would be fun. I would totally be there for that sort of thing. And yeah, man. So this 2-pack's really cool. When I first laid eyes upon it, I thought it was a reissue of the original Wolf, and that just goes to show I have no clue what I'm talking about in terms of action figures, because I know it's brand new stuff here. And my initial thought is, oh man, what is up with pairing the phase 2 clones with the like initial season Clone Wars looks for the characters. So like, I'll just throw a quick example, and I know it's a dead horse at this point, but the Clones of the Republic line, it's a 212th trooper, and he's a phase 2, but he's with like a seasons 1 through 2 Obi-Wan. And it's like, man, I wish it was a seasons, 3 through 5 Obi-Wan or 6. Or
yeah.
And they did the same thing with Anakin. It's a phase 2 Rex with World Between Worlds Anakin, who's very much like a season 1 and 2 Anakin from Clone Wars. So I don't think I'll ever understand that. So in a perfect world, if I had to just change one thing, it would be that this would be a phase 1 Wolf. I think that would be cool because we don't have a phase 1 Wolf in the line. I think it's interesting that we now have 2 phase 2 Wolves in the line long before there's been a phase 1. So as I grow older, I fall into this camp of I'm starting to have a lot of nostalgia for the phase 1 designs, although I prefer the look of phase 2. And I'm starting to see it really underrepresented. And I think it was a step in the right direction with Captain Rex from Ahsoka. And then there just was that phase 1 2-pack with the training battle droid.
Yes.
So I don't know. That would have been something that would have really propelled me to want this set more. But as a big fan of Plo Koon, I can look past the Mace Windu body and just say, yeah, when I look at this, it does scream Wolf Pack, and it screams my inner childhood.
So one thing with the Clones of the Republic line, which, yes, this would have been a great place to get a phase 1 Wolf, I agree. The Clones of the Republic line is done very hand in hand with Disney, because when this drops, it usually goes on Shop Disney the same weekend a bunch of other related products do, and they do it like twice a year. And so actually these packs are kind of locked in with phase 2 looks, because usually you get a Disney Parks exclusive helmet that releases the same weekend. So the one thing that this is kind of telling us but isn't is a Wolfpack helmet is coming next. So if there's any helmet collectors out there, that's my bingo card for 2026.
I didn't think about that, but that's some really good deductive reasoning you did there. Yep. And I guess for collectors, keep in mind, it might not exactly be, the Wolf helmet you see here. It could just be, like you said, just a regular Wolf Pack phase 2. But
it would be a repaint probably of that one that they've been using a lot.
Yeah, like I look at the Commander Gree that they did, and like the Commander Gree in that 2-pack was not the one from Revenge of the Sith, but the helmet that the Disney store dropped to coincide with that pack was like the Revenge of the Sith Commander Gree. So it will be interesting to see what they exactly choose here for this.
Yeah. But I think that's pretty well all we got to say on that, and then we'll just wrap up real quick on some figure talk. This is just exciting in general, whether you collect or not, just because of what you see in the box. But we had a leak. Apparently someone on Facebook Marketplace had this. I tell you, I scoured Facebook for like a day. Like I was going to find like the guy in Utah or wherever he had it and be like, how much money do you need on PayPal to put it in a box and send it to me? And I could not find the listing. So
Changing your location all over the United States.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? Had to have come in a port. So I went to New York City, I went to Atlanta, and then I went
That's
to LA.
smart.
And I was like, okay,
Yeah.
it's not any of those. So then I just started, what capitals do I remember, from 5th grade, and so now I'm changing it to every capital with a 200-mile radius around it. And I mean, I was like trying, and that's assuming that it was listed as Black Series Mandalorian and Grogu, which is what I was looking for. It could have just been Star Wars toy,
Sure, right.
That's specific.
When is this supposed to be released?
So this hasn't even been revealed yet. So my assumption, the fact that it's out and someone has it, probably it was picked up from an overseas source, someone that can get stuff a little bit earlier. But the fact that it's out of the factory now means that it's probably going to be out definitely in time for the movie, probably at least a little bit before.
Sure.
But the fact that this leaked days after Hasbro did a live stream where everyone thought they might start showing us some Mando and Grogu stuff was really funny to me. So
maybe it was intentional.
Yeah, maybe sometimes you never know what they're doing at Hasbro. They let a thing slip, just because they know that we're gonna go crazy.
Yeah.
Does Hong Kong have Facebook Marketplace? I didn't try international. I know some countries do. We have my friend, HCR's friend Mark, 1v1 me and Masters of Terrascasi. I mean, if you want to lose, that's fine. So, and Mom, quit flirting with Mark. So. But I'm really liking. So he comes with his boot knife. He comes with that swappable hand that Target exclusive Mando has that holds the knife really well. So I'm liking that that's looking to become a common accessory. Of course, the pistol and the jetpack, nothing new there. That's a new Grogu. We haven't had a sitting Grogu yet on that pose, at least.
Okay.
But the two cool things is apparently he's getting some sort of like rifle. And then like a gladiator sword.
Wow.
In the trailer, we see like Road of the Hutt in the arena. And I'm like, that's a gladiator sword. It's a short one-handed sword. I'm like, are we gonna see Mando?
Yeah. So like the swords from Knights of the Old Republic, those are what are they?
Vibro swords. Yeah.
Vibro swords. So this is not that. This is just a regular sword.
Well, I mean, it could be because like Mando's little knife, we see it do the vibro thing in The Mandalorian when he pulls it out. It's a vibro dagger or vibro knife. So I mean, it could have that. Could be something special to be lightsaber resistant. I mean, if he's not fighting a saber guy, it could just be metal. It wouldn't matter.
It looks like he's ready to cut down some vines in a jungle with those.
But he and Grogu are treasure hunting. They watched the Bad Batch season 2 and said, "Hey, that's a plot."
Right. But Hybrid, as somebody who's probably has more than 5 Mandos, I'm just going to guess.
Unfortunately.
How do you feel in terms of not just necessarily the value, but like as a Black Series collector, somebody who always is reviewing Black Series, is this one you're picking up just to review, or are you honestly tempted by what it is you're seeing here in the box?
So, all right, that's good because I know where you're getting that idea from. We talked a little the other day.
Yes, sir.
So this is reuse of the Mines of Mandalore Mando sculpt, which was reused from the Glavis Ringworld Mando. So this actually has very modern articulation. It's not that original sculpt from like 2020, which they used until like 2024. It's refreshed. It has some good range of articulation. I like the choice of silver paint on it. Sometimes we've had matted silver, this looks to have a little bit of a shine to it. I'm happy for any infinite amount of Grogus in different poses. That's all fine. A lot of people look at this and they're like, man, why are they releasing another Mando? And I counter you with, are you stupid? The movie's Mandalorian and Grogu. You thought they weren't going to make a Mando figure. Like it was going to happen. Like,
of course,
you should have had that in mind. But something that I like is, even though, yes, it's like Mando number 8 for me, almost every one has come with some unique accessories, because while Mando doesn't change his armor much, he's always picking up new toys. And so this Mando isn't going to be just posed pointing his pistol. I've got like 2 of those already. He's going to be like messing with that sick rifle, or like once the movie comes out and I see what he does with that sword, I'm going to pose him in like the sword pose, whatever he lands. Like, I'm going to have him doing something cool on the shelf.
Yeah, something different.
Soft goods cape, that's always a benefit.
I'm gonna be curious to see if that like evergreen Mando that's out on shelves, he is in like its own mural style. He's with the Vader and the Stormtrooper. I'm curious to see if that's going to be phased out by the time this Mando drops, or if there's going to be like just those 2 different Mandos on the shelves, and you just get the choice between the deluxe version or the non-deluxe.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen him hit some discounts. I feel like I haven't seen him at Target as much. I thought I saw they'd gotten him down to like 15 or so.
Okay.
So I think they are trying to move that one to then replace it with this one. But something I like with these deluxe figures, yes, they're like $10 more than a standard. But if you're going to give me a standard size figure, fill the box. There's a lot of stuff going on in here, and so I'm kind of generally liking it. It's like, yeah, we knew we were going to get another Mando, but like, at least we get some cool stuff with it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you're getting the 2 main characters in the title card in one box. That would never happen with Luke and Leia in the same box. So I guess there was that one where Luke was like a royal guard and Leia was Bosch. But you get what I'm saying.
Right.
Like that you're getting the 2 title main characters in one go. I mean, we've seen Hasbro break up Grogu before and sell them in that little dollar, like, or that little $8 red and black box, and then the Pram version, and it's the full like $20 figures. So for better or for worse, it looks like maybe they've learned that mistake, and now they're trying to just make them a package deal, which at this point, if you don't see them as a package deal, I don't know. So yeah, I think this is solid. I think it's a given. I think it's also fair to say, well, this is maybe underwhelming. Maybe people wanted to see something new, something like a Zeb or a character they haven't seen from the trailers, but like it was coming, and I'm sure they got a lot of other really cool stuff planned.
Yeah, this isn't the entire toy line. Like they don't want us to know about this at all. Like, this is just something that slipped out. I see Raul is asking, why is it blurry in the middle of the box? Are we sure it's not AI? I'm guessing that it looks like sticker residue. The fact that it's in like a rectangle, you can see there's like a straight line, straight line, straight line. I'm guessing like it got like the Amazon treatment, where a sticker got put on the window. You see they peeled something off there.
Yeah.
Everything else is very crisp. So that's not indicative to me of being AI at all. I mean, this is very much a leak, but if you're upset by the notion of things getting repainted and repacked, to fit a new media that it fits, then I hate to tell you, we're probably going to get a repainted Micro Galaxy Razor Crest.
Yellow stripes, baby.
And with that, I think we're going to spin over to something, drug that out a little longer than I meant.
That was slick. That was good.
Yeah. So we try to be cool. So we have Chris Forsyth. Evening, gentlemen. How are you doing? Hope you're doing good, Chris. But Cassidy, so you've got some really cool stuff going on behind you.
I'm trying. So, yeah. Well, thanks again, Hybrid.
100%.
Vincent, you guys are great. Thank you so much for having me on. And for everybody out there, I know there are people watching. Thank you so much for your support. I was telling Jake before we started that I kind of feel like I got thrown into a new school, kind of like I'm the new kid in town. And it's not that I haven't been in the Star Wars world or the hobby, but I've been just kind of dealing with family life and that kind of thing past couple of years, just sort of been out of it a little bit, just on the outskirts and not with the community, so to speak.
Yeah.
But this project is something that my son and I have been working on together. And I'll go ahead and tell you, he's 6. He's a little guy, but this is something that it was actually his idea. So I can't take all the credit.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I've been working on this for about 8 months. and it's been a really big project. But I grew up with Star Wars. I grew up with the original trilogy and Power of the Force action figures and Action Fleet in the 90s, which is comparable, which is very similar to Micro Galaxy Squadron. And I was so glad when these ships came out. I mean, it just lit me up. I was so excited. And as we started picking them up and started collecting them, they, we put them on the shelves and display them. Of course, he was a little guy and trying to play with them, but he eventually got to the point where he wanted a base or a hangar to put them in. And we kind of started making things out of cardboard, and I was already in 3D printing, and I was like, let's just try to print something. And this is what we came up with.
They're awesome, dude.
Thank you so much.
The action figure community has tons of options if you want to 3D print a little diorama, if you're missing an accessory. Vincent mentioned that Battlefront 2 Black Series 2-pack that comes with the Phase 1 Coruscant Guard, and it comes with a battle droid commander. And in Battlefront 2, the commanders use a pistol, but they didn't give him the pistol. They just gave him the normal battle droid gun because he's a battle droid repaint. They've never made that pistol before.
Right.
And some people have been commenting on it. But me, I didn't sweat it because I know there's a million options out there. And like before the announcement was done, I'm over on Etsy just ordering a resin printed pistol, and it's here, and I've painted it, and I made 2, and I gave Blitz 1 for his.
Right.
And
that's great.
And it's like, but with Micro Galaxy, it's an awesome toy line, and they clearly put some insane effort into these ships.
They put a lot of heart into them.
There's usually a wash where it's applicable. Sometimes there's removable panels just to show you the engine for whatever reason.
Yeah.
There's all this cool stuff going on, and there is like not anything out there. I always thought that it'd be cool if someone made like the Camino landing pads, like a really simple model, just like a circle, just something you can put on your shelf and like put your Slave 1 on, or your Jedi Starfighters on, or your gunships or whatever.
Yeah.
No one's done that. I've had ideas of like on Geonosis, the landing platforms in the mountains where it's just a flat sticking out of the side of a cave, that's something that you could put on the side of a bookshelf of a command strip or something,
Sure.
No one's trying any of these things.
Until
I just lack the skills to do it myself, but then all of a sudden one day, a couple months back, I'm scrolling Instagram and I see that beautiful tie hanger behind you.
Yeah. That's one of my favorite ones.
That's
fun.
I am so excited to put all of my Imperial vehicles in that. Every one. They are all going to go.
Cool.
But
yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that. So the way we decided to approach it was to begin with scenes inspired from A New Hope. That was my Star Wars growing up. I love all of them, but that was really, what I grew up with and had a huge impact on me as a kid. And to now have 3D printers that allow us to recreate scenes that you can essentially put figures and ships into. It's just like bringing part of the movie home with you, and getting to see them, getting to just look at it is like, I wish I could have that full scale. Of course, none of us can, but it's the next best thing to kind of experiencing that moment in real life, I guess, for me.
For sure. I'm going to scroll down on Instagram and then I'll share.
Yeah. Well, Hybrid pulls that up. When I came across Cube Squadron, it was sometime in October. I did a little bit of research before we started streaming. And I want to remind people, your first post went up October 10th. And
it did, didn't it? Yeah.
In a 2-month window, Hybrid is now showing off just a fraction of the work that you have put into this thing. When I look at, so for myself, I try to take Carbonites seriously on Instagram because sometimes if the case doesn't excite you or the characters I'm making, maybe the marketing does. You know, it does play a big part into it, and
Sure.
it helps establish memory with the product itself. So, you know, every time I open up Instagram and I see a post of yours, it transports me from Carbonites Instagram or checking out what my friends do on Instagram, and it puts me right in a galaxy far, far away. Unlike you know, unlike in a way that Carbonites can, unlike in a way that so many other toys can. And I'll tell you why. When somebody makes something, like we all talk about Disney Plus, when we look at how Star Wars has been recreated, and when Mando lands at the docking bay and there's Pelimoto there to greet him, it's not just the volume where it's just a tan, you know, circle, and then the Razor Crest lands and Mando walks out. It's everything that's surrounding that Razor Crest in the docking bay. It's the whatever tools Peli has. It's the pit droids that run right up with all their supplies, with their hoses and their valves and the things that they get plugged up to that Razor Crest. It's the greebling details. It's the little critters that scamper by. All things that it would take a master mock builder from Lego to capture. All things that, you know, Hot Toys, there would never be all of these items to scale to really cement it in that universe. So here we have what is some people's favorite aspect about, you know, Star Wars, which are these awesome ships from Micro Galaxy Squadron. And you're creating these environments that are not Star Wars. They're not licensed. There's no affiliation with Lucasfilm or Disney or even Jazzwares. But you're creating these environments that help sell what that vehicle represents. And it's some scene recreation, and it is just masterful. So it looks like Hybrid has pulled up some pictures here, and I'd love to look at them with the audience.
Yeah, thank you, Vincent. That's very kind of you. I really appreciate that. That's the goal. I have put a lot of time into the details, like you say, the greebles, the little things, and really it's fun to look at. You can pull up some behind the scenes. There's not a lot of footage, but there's some photographs of set design back, you know, in the late 70s when they were working on A New Hope. And there's a lot of stuff there. And, you know, every time I watch the films, I catch something new, some little panel or a hose, a fuel line or whatever. And it just shows you how much love and detail that they really put into those original movies that made them, and all of them, but that really made them stand out from the rest of the media at the time.
Absolutely. You know, with me, with the work that I get to do, it always starts with researching the costumes. And it always starts with just trying to get as many views of things as I can. And sometimes it's really hard to source some of that. Sometimes you only just get that one shot of the character.
Yeah.
You don't get the full 360 view, and your brain has to kind of fudge it and come up with it along the way. And that's what being an artist helps, you know, but it's amazing that whatever your reference material has been, and I think looking at behind the scenes shots is actually a very great way to study that. I think it translates tenfold, and it just in spades. This not only screams, you know, the world building, but it also screams how good you are at research. That's very impressive.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I enjoy it. It's fun. It's you know, something that my son and I do together, and he does the same thing. He loves analyzing and picking out the details and wondering, you know, what does that little thing do? And but so this one right here, this docking bay, the outer rim docking bay, it has about 200 parts to it. So like you said, you know, I started doing Instagram stuff on about 2 months ago. This has been it's taken over half a year because of all those little details. And I decided that I wasn't going to halfway do it. I wanted to try to replicate, or to be, you know, to create a scene that really reflects that, that style and all the detail that's there.
Absolutely. Is there something that you've noticed? Let's take this outer rim docking bay, for example. Is there something in particular that you kind of never noticed about the scene until you really started studying it? Perhaps like a detail that jumped out to you and your son?
Yeah, all kind of things. You know, the little crane, the little hoist mechanisms. I never noticed those until I watched the Falcon leave the hangar. You know, 20 times. You start seeing little control panels, hoses, and then you start looking at some of the fuel tanks and things that are actually repurposed from uh, real aviation things from the era that were painted to look a little different. You know, the real world things just kind of maybe turned upside down or whatever. You know, so it's fun to just catch all that, and a lot of it's there. You know, in spirit.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Really quick, I just want to say hi to Moocher.
Hey, Moocher.
Hope you're having a good night. We're glad to see you here.
Yeah.
We've had Shelf Life pop in a few minutes ago, and you did get a membership, so you can thank Blitz for that. Bly was reminiscing about some Action Fleet. He remembers mail ordering the Luke X-Wing with the Dagobah weathering from.
I had that one as well. I'm hoping Jazzwares will decide to do a Dagobah X-Wing. That'd be great. It's fun.
And then Blitz is spitting here. He loves the father-son relationship is intertwined with the story. It's very Star Wars.
And Tommy's the one that kind of introduced me to all of you guys.
Yes.
So thank you, Tommy, for that. And I found him. I started watching him because not just because of this, but I love the relationship that he has with his dad. I think that's super cool that you guys share the hobby. You seem to have a wonderful relationship, and I admire that very much. Super cool.
No, Commander Bly and Tommy, when they get together and work on something, it's always a treat to watch.
It is.
We saw the Blitz cast this week. That was one of my favorites. So,
yeah, that's a rare thing. Yeah.
So somewhere along the way, we're gonna have to pass Commander Bly an invite for Talking Toys. I think I've had some ideas on what would be good to have him on for. And, So Bly's awful, he says. So, but.
Cassidy, something you said earlier that really resonated with me. You said that you can't take the credit, that this is your son's idea. And something I've been pretty transparent about when talking about my startup with Carbonites is it was actually my mom who put some like Jenga blocks in front of me. And she's like, hey,
really?
Yeah, she's like, draw your favorite Star Wars characters on these old Jenga blocks.
That's so cool.
Yeah, she's like, we'll wait to get you who you want until Christmas or your birthday. But for now, you want that character, you draw them. So not only did it sharpen my artist skills, but it also just, I have to shout her out. And, it's the beauty of Star Wars is just, it's always about family. But it also sounds like your son, unlike Bly with those Blitzcast episodes, he's not doing this reluctantly. He actually seems to really take to this. So what was his introduction like to Star Wars? And is he as much of an original trilogy guy as maybe Cube Squadron's making it look to be like he is?
Yeah, so I would love to have him on, except he'd be playing with everything as I was trying to chat. But it would be fun to watch, honestly. He loves the original trilogy, but a big part of that is because we've been working on this specifically. Mm-hmm. He loves the prequels. He also loves the sequels, the Clone Wars, anything. He loves it. He gets it. He is very, very detail oriented. And when it comes to the ships, he's very specific about, Jazzwares offers the red 5-pack. He's when he flies them in formation, he wants red 1 in the lead with, red 2 and 3 behind, flying in formation. And I kind of try to watch that and try to integrate that just logic into my design process. There's some things that I have not shown yet. Moocher, keep your mouth shut. I don't want to say too much, but
yeah, he teases us sometimes. He
so
lets us know there's stuff we don't know.
There's much more to come, and that will all kind of make sense in a kind of different way once you see
it.
It's one of your greatest tools you can use against us is teasing products that just let our collector brains run wild. So
we're giving you all this exposure and you aren't going to reward us by spilling the beans?
I will. Hey,
no,
small team, a lot of work to do. I will. Yeah. It'll be revealed when it's time. So and that's we have some goals to meet. So
this is worth the wait. And I gotta say, we could talk about your son all day. He sounds like me when I was younger. I've told my friends that I was just always destined to be a guy that criticizes action figures online. When I was getting into figures as a kid, it was the Saga Legends. It was right after Revenge of the Sith. Your coin characters and stuff. And every now and then they would try to slip a repack of like an Attack of the Clones era figure into that line.
Yeah.
And I remember, like I'm like 7 years old, and man, when you have action figure money, you got to go pick a good action figure.
Mm-hmm.
I remember pawing through the shelves, and man, I kind of want Anakin, but this is an old Anakin. He has bad articulation. But this guy over here, this is a new figure. He's got like elbows and knees and ankles, and I'm looking at that in the box. And I mean, again, I was like 7, and I was always looking for highly articulated, the best looking, and
sure.
There's
Very particular.
I never liked the electronic lightsabers because you can never put the blade all the way in the handle.
Yeah.
But the quick ones you could hang on your belt, and
Right.
I mean, it was weird. There was like things that made certain things so much better to me.
Yeah, sure. My son has one of those that he's been playing with lately, and he puts the part that won't retract all the way in his pocket, so that way it looks like it's all the way in, and you pull it out. So,
yeah,
clever workaround for a 6-year-old.
Yep.
Well, it sounds like
Mom's saying, we should have hit the toy aisle first, but because there was some time spent.
Well, Cassidy, it sounds like you're really good at paying attention to details. Same goes with your son, but it's not just in terms of studying the galaxy far, far away. I also get the sense that you also study the collector, because as Hybrid might be able to flip around, I saw that you have Cube Squadron optimized to be stackable. It could even fit certain IKEA shelves as well that many collectors have in their collection rooms. And also you have Cube Squadron in like multiple different scales. They could be 3 wide or just the one single cube, 2 wide. Walk me through that process and what the decision making was like when doing all that.
Absolutely. So initially I wanted to attempt to create something that would be compatible with existing shelves. And after researching, it doesn't take long to figure out, well, everybody has a different size shelf. There's no real universal size dimension that you can sell one of these that will automatically fill up edge to edge, an existing shelf space. So that led me down the path of, well, let's just make the shelves and make them inserts, and that's kind of how the cube thing formed. Mm-hmm. So you have different options to mount them. These are obviously wall mounted, as you see in the picture there, and you can also stick them in the IKEA cubes with a frame insert, because they don't quite fill out that space, but with the frame they look nice. And then you can stack them. So for people that don't, there's the Falcon and the TIE Advance. Yeah. So if you don't want to drill holes in your wall and mount anything, you can also stack them as well. And I haven't shown these yet, but that's a single cube riser. There's a double cube and a 3 cube riser as well. Nice. So you can stack them, without having to mount anything. You could still put them against the wall if you wanted to, but if you wanted to just keep from having to put holes in your wall, there are options.
Outstanding. And what's the friction like when you go to stack them? Do they simply sit on top, or is there a little latch method?
So for the stackable version and I don't have one, I think I have one over there. There's a clip that connects in the back that snaps them together, and it prevents them from moving. So you can actually just grab the bottom cube and it will stay in place, and you can kind of spin it around. I'll have some demonstration videos of those soon.
Yeah, really truly, man. I'm so impressed. You've really thought of everything so far.
Well,
really just want to thank Commander Bly for the $2 super chat. And we also have a $10 super chat from Commander Cook. He's going to have to catch the replay, but we hope you have a good night as well, awesome. Commander Cook. So thank you very much. Everyone's being very kind and generous tonight.
That's great.
Absolutely. I want to pull a Watto quote and say your public credits aren't good out here, but I can't even do that.
It all spends.
No, it's thank you, everybody. It's very kind in the chat for sure. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I, try, and I used to collect. And again, one reason I haven't been in the collecting world lately is because I have very young children. And it's hard to put figures up and tell them no, and that's another reason this happened, because we wanted to have an interactive play space for him with these toys. And I didn't mention this, but it's funny. Bly actually said the other day, I can't remember exactly what you said, but you said something about cloning, said clone me or something like that. So I haven't mentioned that my wife and I, we did that as well. We have 2 identical 3-year-olds as well, and they are just as much into Star Wars and trying to get to figures and toys.
Wow.
So we've had to put things up. We've had to keep them out of reach. These can be mounted up higher.
Sure.
So we've had a lot of testing, and it kind of learned just at home what works for us, but how that applies to people in other living arrangements as well,
Right.
with their existing collections, whether they want to put them up higher than them or next to their computer on their desk, or trying to think of everything that
Yeah.
we can. So
My mom's trying to buy some love here, so yeah, I guess you're above until Dad figures out how to use the internet, and then get on YouTube, and then decides to part with his hard-earned shekels. So
There we go.
appreciate that, Mom.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so much intention happening here with Cube Squadron, and I feel like I don't want to get on a soapbox here, but I feel like when we see something as collectors that don't quite meet our expectation, typically, for me at least, it's a lack of intention. And that's kind of what I want to transition to next. Is Cube Squadron a problem that you saw with Micro Galaxy Squadron and you said, I want to fix it? Or is it more so like you're saying, like with your kids, making something that's out of reach, making something for the collector? Or were you starting to take issues with Micro Galaxy Squadron and how there isn't a great way to really display them? They just sit on a shelf. Kind of where are you at with Micro Galaxy Squadron as a line, aside from Cube Squadron?
So I love the line. I think, and I know this is going to ruffle people's feathers, but I think it's the best line out there, obviously. I really do. I like the scale. I like the fact, and the reason I say that is because I love the characters from the world of Star Wars. I really love the ships. That's my thing.
Yeah.
But I also like that you get the figures too. And Black Series is great. I mean, you get a ton of detail, the big figures. TVC, of course, a little smaller. You get some ships, but no ships. I guess there have been a few ships with Black Series, haven't there? There's been
They dabble with the occasional speeder bike.
Yeah.
They got really bold with a TIE fighter when the sequels came out. It did not perform well.
Did they do Ray's speeder thing?
They did Ray's speeder.
Okay.
They did Luke's land speeder.
Okay.
We have
there's a few.
No speeder. That's the most recent big one, and that was 2020.
Yeah. Okay.
And
so there's a few. And then
there's probably a total of 10 over the entire line.
Yeah. Then with TVC, of course, there's more, but still, I wish I had unlimited funds. I'd have a whole squadron of, TVC X-Wing, squadrons displayed in formation. That would be super cool, but I'd have to have a mansion and, just no space to display something like that.
Right. Good evening, Brandon.
So being a fan of the ships, Micro Galaxy Squadron is the sweet spot,
Yes.
You get a realistic scale that, although it is not 100% accurate, they have, they've had to compromise a little bit. Some ships are, slightly disproportionate, but they do that for production reasons and to make it possible. Because if they didn't, some of these ships would be so big, that they just, you couldn't do it. So I like that you're able to have the ships and the figures, and you're able to set up your diorama, with the scenes with the vehicles. Also, when I was a kid, I loved Micro Machines, Star Wars Micro Machines. They were super cool.
yeah.
I mean, you can have a whole bunch of those, a ton of TIE fighters and rebel ships and stuff, but you didn't have the figures. They did have tiny little ones, but they were actually not really to scale with the other Micro Machines. Anyway,
Right, they were. It was
yeah,
a weird line. It was like a bunch of blended scales.
yeah. So I have to praise Jazzwares and Micro Galaxy Squadron for really knocking it out of the park as far as being as consistent as they can with scale and giving us that universe in one line, basically, that you can kind of collect. And I know the figures are tiny, but they're still super cool. They're still pretty detailed. And I get a lot out of, just arranging the figures, arranging stormtroopers around the Falcon in the hangar bay to reenact those scenes that I wouldn't necessarily be able to do, especially with Black Series, because I mean, the Falcon would be the size of my truck if they did make one. Right. So you get to do things like that with Micro Galaxy Squadron that you can't with others, and that just kind of sells it for me. That's what I like to do, is create those scenes, and my son does too. He likes to have the battles. He likes to drop off cargo and have different pilots get in different ships for whatever reason, and he can do all that with this line. So it's pretty fun.
Cool. Blitz here spitting. Micro Galaxy Squadron has the best bang for your buck. It's the best value of any current Star Wars collectible line. And I gotta say, it's that it is as long as you're not looking at the weird little kids toys. When you go down the toy aisle at Walmart and you look at what's there, you got your $27 Black Series and your $20 TVC, and then you got your $14 Micro Galaxy Squadron ships hanging there,
Mm-hmm.
And I know there's a lot of people out there that really haven't given the line a fair shake yet, and it's been going on for 3-4 years, and Vincent,
and everybody has their thing when it comes to being a fan. Of course, for me, it's the vehicle, so that's why this stands out to me. It doesn't mean it has to be that way for everybody. Of course, we all have our different interests, but it just it does make me think about Action Fleet as well. Very similar scale. Action Fleet was a little bit bigger, but Micro Galaxy Squadron has done a much better job of consistency of the scale. Mm-hmm. Action Fleet, we got I think we got we got Princess Leia's Corellian Corvette, that was it was almost the same size as an X-Wing, so
right.
Not completely accurate, but
right.
Jazzwares, go ahead.
I always tell people, if you haven't tried Micro Galaxy yet, if you're a Hot Toys guy, if you like Black Series or TVC, if you have a favorite Star Wars ship and Micro Galaxy has made it, pick it up.
Yeah.
Don't commit to the line. Don't say I'm going to buy every one. But
they probably have. Yeah, they probably have made it. They have so many ships. It blows my mind how much they've done.
Right. Yeah. And end of the day, you might only have one Micro Galaxy ship, but it's going to be your favorite toy of that ship. I really love the N1. I've had a blast with all of the Jedi Starfighter repaints. I love
those are great.
The bigger vehicles. Some of them aren't quite my thing, but then they do things like that TIE Reaper for $9 on Black Friday. I guess we'll buy that. But
which is a super cool ship.
Yes,
it's a very underrated design, in my opinion.
Yes, it was weird. It was just something where I was like, oh, it's the TIE Fighter that was in Rogue One for 15 seconds. I was like, I'll pick it up eventually,
Yeah, it's it's comparable to the U-Wing sort of for the Empire.
Yeah. But Commander Bly says Cube Squadron kind of negates the scale differences by separating them into their own scenes. The scale inconsistencies are more obvious when they're all lined up, parked next to each other.
Well, there's the biggest flaw then, I guess. Yeah.
Right. Well, no. And I mean, it's the Mandalorian Gauntlet fighters are probably, in my opinion, the most egregious underscale vehicle. Like those should have been put in like a $30 box, like the Millennium Falcon, and quadrupled in size. And just because they're a troop carrier and it only fits one figure.
Yeah.
Even if it's not true to scale, it should have had a place underneath that you could like cram 6 Mandos in or something.
Yeah.
But when you stick it in the hyperspace block, who cares? It looks like
sure. Yeah. So that was another thing as far as, talking about stacking and mounting, coming up with a way to display them effectively using common mid-size household 3D printers. It was a bit of a puzzle to kind of work that math out and look at what ships are people most interested in. What am I most interested in? What is my son most interested in? But that's also going to appeal to other people. But to come up with a shape that would house these ships across the line took a bit of work to dial in, and also working within the parameters of existing, common 3D printers too. So kind of tricky to iron all that out. And we hit a really good size for the hyperspace cube was sort of we wanted to make sure that everything was, not everything, but as many ships that we could possibly make compatible with that particular cube would make collectors happy, because it's one that you may want to rotate. You may not want to have the U-wing in all the time. You might want to pop in, the Millennium Falcon. And anyway, wanted to try to make sure that most of the popular ships could fit in there.
Right. So, yeah, when you scroll through your Instagram, it seems every time that you post the hyperspace cube, there's a different vehicle in it. And
swap it out quite a bit. Yeah.
And I believe I had heard you mention somewhere it works because there's like a clip at the back that holds it in.
Right.
And so, of course, you're doing a heavy focus on the original trilogy, this first wave. Are there plans to add other clips later on to put prequel, sequel, anything else in the cube?
Yes, absolutely. So, it's tricky doing these things. This is my second Kickstarter, and I would love to keep working and make every single ship compatible, but that doesn't mean that I can have that done by the time we launch the Kickstarter, because if I sat here and worked on those, it could be 6 more months before, I knocked everything out. So focusing on, of course, the ships that have hyperdrives, that's important. So that kind of knocks a good chunk of them off.
Yeah.
But also, like you say, staying within A New Hope, within that era. And even though the U-wing wasn't, Rogue One not far behind. So it fits that time period, basically. So there will be a list of ships that are compatible, and some of them won't be from this era. So to answer your question, there will be some that are kind of just more popular, that most people that, especially those that collect this line probably already have and would like to see in hyperspace, even though it doesn't line up with this exact time period release. I think it's still worth including those really hot ships.
Just across the saga, it should be. We should be able to put Jedi starfighters with the rings in there, and
you could do
anything. So,
and I released a quick little video today. The Ghost does fit. A lot of people were asking. It is tight. It's real tight. And I knew its dimensions when I started doing this, but I wasn't going to make a point to design the cube around it. But I did have it in the back of my mind when I was doing everything, but I wasn't going to let it compromise any of the other design elements. So it does work. It's tight though.
Hey, that's it's just cool that it works out.
It's a big ship. Yeah.
I think from the film Rogue One too, you can see a snippet of it, and it's like it is outside the actual base, like it's not in the temple.
Right.
So this is actually a little bit of it's adding in that accuracy element as well. But for me, this good guy jungle base that I'm seeing right here, this is the one that really blew my mind out of all of them, because this is where there's those unique details that something like I don't know, when I close my eyes and I think about the Death Star, it's the iconic paneling. It's how sterile it is at the same time, how shiny things are. But, there's so many different jungle planets out there. I think being able to nail some of the little greebling textures is quite impressive. But you were also talking about how much time these things take. And I also know, too, how much time these Instagram posts can take as well. And it does such a great job in selling the product and what it is, but it's also doing such a good job of saying what you necessarily can't. It's allowing the brain to fill in the words of what's really going on here in this Cube Squadron diorama. And that alone, again, it's just these little things that I keep noticing that just show me how big of a fan you truly are, and just how much you capture these details. And I think it's so easy to think about what it is you're going to make next and what era you're going to jump to and which battle and which planet. But really, it's because you're such a fan and it shows in images like this, it makes me think there is no end in sight. My guess is you're going to try to make as many scenes as you can, or do you actually have an end in sight here?
So for this Kickstarter, this initial Kickstarter, these scenes will all be they'll be inspired from A New Hope. After that, if it is successful and I can justify continuing it, which I hope that I can to some degree, and I know I will, especially as my son, as long as he's interested in it, and as long as I am, which I'm not planning on changing my mind. I will, of course, continue to do it, but to what level will depend on this Kickstarter and how successful it is to gauge. Okay, I can devote this much time to it going forward.
Sure.
And yes, there are plans. I have, forwards and backwards. I have plans. I can't say exactly which one I would do after this one because I don't know, honestly. There's still some research to be done, but I have some good, pretty cool thoughts, and I have actually started on some other things that are outside of A New Hope.
Nice.
That is so cool. I love that. And just how exciting, right? But
Right.
We can't downplay how much time these things take to make, to market.
Yeah.
We also can't downplay your honesty there. A lot of this will depend on how that Kickstarter goes, and you're gonna have to make that judgment call from there. So
Sure.
For those who aren't familiar with Kickstarter, how can they get involved with Cube Squadron?
Absolutely. And it's incredibly helpful for people to create a Kickstarter account and to follow the page. It lets us know exactly how many people are seriously interested in it. And we do kind of have goals that we need to make before we can proceed. I get a lot of messages, and please forgive me if I haven't responded to some of you. I try to, but people saying, go ahead and launch right now. Come on. Like, I'm ready to buy. And like, I appreciate it. It means the world to me. It really does. But I can't do it too soon. Just like we said, I only released this to the public about 2 months ago, and there has to be some marketing. There has to be a push of some kind to get it out there. And, I look forward to launching it, but it has to be done at the right moment, basically, with enough followers. So you can go to our website at www.cubesquadron.com. You can follow us on Instagram. And it will pop up with a little notification on the website to go to the Kickstarter page. And there's a little button that says notify me when the project launches. And Kickstarter will send you an email as soon as you do. And there you go.
Yep. I actually have all of those links, by the way, in the description of this
Cool.
video. So
perfect.
Yep. So I'm trying to steer people.
Thank you so much, Hybrid. Yeah. Like I was saying, I'm new to this. I'm new. Thank you for covering me on that.
Yeah. So basically, as soon as you're done watching this, everyone start clicking some links.
Yeah. And so at 1,000 followers, we're at 533. So we're downhill to 1,000. I will be revealing one of the additional cubes that will be included or available to purchase.
Wow.
Now that'll be also
Cool.
be a New Hope focus. Like
all of these are
two to be remained will also be a New Hope focus.
Yeah. So there are 7 scenes total, and more than half of them come in different sizes. Like Vincent he mentioned earlier about the 1 cube, 2 cube, 3 cube, basically 10-inch, 20-inch, and 30 inches wide. So you can see there, the hyperspace one is the 10-inch, the docking bay, outer rim docking bay is 20 inches, and then the hidden base on the bottom is 30 inches wide. So about half of those come in optional at different widths, depending on how you want to arrange your collection and display them, basically. So it's kind of like a puzzle. You kind of have to think about, well, I want the hyperspace, and the hyperspace one is only a 1 cube, but the hangar, the TIE fighter hangar, it's 10, 20, or 30. So if you want maybe a 20 TIE fighter hangar, and then the trench run next to it, and then maybe the 30-inch hidden base at the bottom, just whatever you have in mind for your space.
Yeah.
If you want that,
the single,
or you could do, 2 singles side by side somewhere, or stack them on top, like in that picture.
Yeah.
Hybrid. Any speculation on what those coming soons could be? I know Cassidy can't say, but I gotta pick your brain here. If it was inspired by A New Hope, where does the brain go? Do you think it's a trench run or a Beggar's Canyon with the T-16? What do we think?
I wish they had a T-16. Micro Galaxy Squadron. They don't have a T-16, and I wish they would release one. It's one of my favorite ships. Yeah.
Make that happen then. Wow.
Yeah. I don't know if we would be looking at another trench run, because we do have the one pictured here. It's like a straight on shot.
Right.
Whether there could potentially be something where it's like the surface of the Death Star, with some turrets firing, with places to put X-Wings up above, like passing over. I'm really
cool ideas.
What I'm thinking. I mean, just it's been a second since I watched New Hope, but of course it's burned into my mind.
Sure.
I think for what the line's covered, you've really revealed a lot of the stuff that comes to mind first. So I'm just really excited to see what could possibly be revealed, unless you wanted to get into like the figures that come in the blind boxes, and maybe do like an exterior Taniv to put those escape pods on or something. Like,
great ideas. Yeah. I need to brainstorm with you on the next one.
Hey, I'm good at coming up with ideas. I'm not good at making them happen, but I'm good at thinking stuff.
Cassidy's thought of everything. He has it all on his own. I can tell.
Right.
Oh, I haven't thought of everything. I try, but yeah.
So, Kilogoff Whiskey asked, will these be available as completed kits or just the files? And Bliss Transmission has shared they will be available as a kit.
Yes. So they will come as 2 different options. If you have a 3D printer and you want to print them at home yourself, you can just purchase the digital version. The digital version includes everything. So it will be a package that includes all the cubes, everything you need, as well as updates or anything that comes out in the future. That's all included as well for these specific cubes. If you don't have a 3D printer, or if you do and you just want us to print them for you, they will come colored and ready to be assembled, but not with weathering details. So if you want to put a wash on them, and I've joked about this with you guys, Tommy and Hybrid, my son, and I'm not kidding, he did the wash on the docking bay 94 right here.
Yeah, we gotta pull that up a little closer just to flex that a little bit. I mean, that's you could have told me that you paid a lot of money.
Well, he spent about 10 minutes doing it. I was there with him, but we have some cool little sponges and some old brushes, some old toothbrushes and stuff too. It doesn't take much, and it really adds a lot to it. You get that lived in feel versus just the solid plastic color, which looks nice, and that's kind of what you see in the disassembled layout of the parts.
Right.
There.
It's just gonna be tan plastic, and then you got to do a little bit of work to do.
Right.
To do
but
that.
It's not like some kits that are all gray where you have to figure out, okay, well, this needs to be tan, this needs to be blue. Everything's already colored, which you're welcome to paint it a different color tan if you want to, or whatever. But
Right.
it's already
It's
grouped that way. Yeah,
it's ready for a wash. Basically, it's
exactly.
ready to. It's just you could just run with it. It's very minimal
Exactly.
effort required.
You don't have to have a degree in painting or any type of. You don't have to call yourself an artist, although you will be once you do it. So
Right.
it's kind of fun.
And Cassidy, if somebody were to go ahead and buy the kit opposed to printing it themselves, would that also come with the lights, most notably for the hyperspace one, or is that going to be outside the realm of the kit?
They're all configured to have lights connected to them. They are not included. And the reason for that is some people have different lighting, LED strips that they prefer, different little techniques depending on if they're going to use battery packs or if they're going to run wires, to an outlet below them, or if they're going to drill into their wall and go through, and, tap in that way. So no lighting or wiring is included, but and I'll release more information about this. It's set up to be super easy to integrate pretty much any type of lighting that you want into it.
Nice hollow spaces wherever you would want room to work.
Exactly. The back has plenty of room to add pretty much any kind of modern LED small light to it. So
Bolts is asking, and I'm guessing it's probably more with this docking bay. Is it able to be set up without the cube, or is that relevant to the structure?
Yeah, that's kind of what holds it all together. So some of it can kind of be set up without it, but they're designed specifically for the cube. That's kind of what holds it all together. And the benefit to that is there's no glue. So this whole thing assembles, it snaps together, no glue required, also no supports from pulling it off your 3D printer, which means you don't have to pry yucky supports and tear your fingers up trying to clean up the part, make it smooth. It comes off ready and it looks really good. Printers have come a long way. But when you assemble it and put it all together, it kind of holds itself together through these locking mechanisms that can be undone. But that was done to kind of, if something breaks or you need to swap out a part or you want to change the color of something, it's easy to take it apart and change that one component basically.
Yeah.
So it's a contained package. That way it's, I know some people might want to just put the scene on the shelf, but there would be too many variables with sizes and getting the ship to stay from the weight and all that. So you got to use the cube.
Yeah, no, it's definitely just the shell holding it all together,
Yeah.
And even if you only picked out your favorite scene, if you just wanted the docking bay and nothing else, it's just kind of nice that it's just a thing. It's not,
it's contained. Yeah.
I like the contained nature of it.
Yeah. I did experiment, like when I talked about looking at shelves, different sizes, trying to figure out if I could make something that was universal somehow. But when you kind of start trying to make something work for everything, it kind of loses its specialness as like a completed, like refined scene. It kind of starts to get scattered. And so that was part of the reason to keep it in a cube.
A question I had, because you're going to offer it, like you said, in pre-made kits. I guess just more a behind the scenes question. Do you anticipate there being a lot of backlog time on that? I think, you said some of these have 200 parts. That would take me several days to print one with only one printer.
Yeah.
Sure. I personally, with only having one printer, I wouldn't be offering to even print any for friends, because
right. Yeah.
I'm gonna be so busy with mine.
Sure. Well, so I do have a little bit of a background in manufacturing, and I'm a small business owner. I have other businesses, and creating products and getting them to customers is something that I have quite a bit of experience with, and something I'm really proud of. Actually, I've been doing it for the past 10 years, actually a little over, but not in the 3D printing world. But the cool thing about 3D printing is you can batch groups of prints together. So whereas you're talking, it might take you, a long time to print one of the cubes with one printer. With multiple printers and multiple large format printers, I can group, 300 of the tiny little hoses on one printer to print, and then I have 15 others ready to take the next part. So as far as scalability, it will depend on demand, but I'm also very prepared to upscale our operation, and that's part of why we're doing Kickstarter.
Okay.
It allows us to gauge that interest and what we might be up against, and then prepare for that.
Right. We have Blitz dipping out, but he's going to check out the replay. Have a good night, Blitz.
See you,
Same
Tommy.
with my mom. She is on her way out. So I guess that was another question with Kickstarter. I've personally never used it. It's been around forever. It's it's been vetted. It's good.
Yeah.
What are some benefits that Kickstarter offers?
So it helps us gauge interest, for one, and it also makes us adhere to a timeline. So when you have people that are wanting to support your project, for them to be using a well-known system that has proven itself, like Kickstarter, to allow the creators to share progress and give timeline updates that they can then comment on and give feedback to in one kind of enclosed system, kind of helps the project stay on task, I guess you could say.
Right.
It allows us to prepare, like talking about manufacturing, it gives us an idea in advance of what we will be up against. It's a 30-day campaign, and a lot of work can be done in 30 days before the campaign ends. So once we launch the Kickstarter, we'll be, of course, seeing how many backers we get, and then we'll be able to determine exactly what kind of numbers we'll be working with, essentially. So it's just kind of a more friendly, comfortable, proven system versus hopping on somebody's e-commerce platform that nobody knows anything about. There's no guarantees, whereas with Kickstarter, it's a little more regimented. And I've already done a previous Kickstarter, so you can look and see how that one performed and how satisfied those people were with that product. So, yeah.
And one of these projects, it was called War Trains, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
So for those who are interested, I believe they're still for sale. Yes.
Yes, they are, just in digital form, though. That one was purely just for the 3D printable files. Yeah. So that's for wargaming, if anybody's interested in that world. But it's kind of sci-fi, futuristic, grimdark themed trains. Totally unrelated to Star Wars, but still fun stuff.
For sure.
Yeah. Now, is that where you got your start with 3D printing? Is that the project that you kind of learned the ropes with that then transferred over to Cube Squadron?
Yeah, kind of. So I got into 3D modeling about 12 years ago, 13 years ago. I filed some patents for completely unrelated product. And at the time, I didn't have the money to do the diagrams and the schematics for these products. So I started teaching myself the software to design these 3D models to help represent the patent. And that kind of led to me helping other people do their patents, and then just kind of modeling on my own and having an interest in sci-fi, kind of started making just random, sci-fi things. But then I started integrating the 3D tools into my businesses for marketing. And I just kind of developed a set of 3D modeling skills that at the time I didn't know would also, cross over into the 3D printing world pretty seamlessly, honestly, because the tools are pretty much the same. What you can create in a digital world, for the most part now, with 3D printing technology being as good as it is, you can replicate it in the real world with a 3D printer. So I started kind of making just little things, kind of just nothing, just fun little projects and things. And then decided that, and my son was younger at the time, but he was very interested and wanted me to make him all kind of little trucks. And he was really into trains. So I've kind of used this business, Engine 3D, to kind of use it as a teaching tool for him, to teach him about some math, some basic math things, with to integrating those skills and that knowledge into things that he likes. So he loved trains a lot, and I liked wargaming, so we created war trains out of that bond. So
no, that's a really fun combination of interests.
Yeah, it is.
So I mean, find the middle ground.
Exactly. And he really does contribute a lot. I know. I think about how, and I don't have many memories, but I do have a lot of memories around that age, kindergarten, first grade type, playing with Star Wars, really being into it. Those movies were everything to me. And he has some really good suggestions. It's nice to get that perspective. A child's mind is it's fun to hear what he comes up with.
Right. Oh, what is it? Yoda says in Attack of the Clones, truly special the mind of a child is. So
yes.
You're looking at it from the super mechanical, how do I design it? You're probably coming in, well, what about this feature?
Exactly.
And you're like, okay, like I see you.
In fact, the sliding tray on the hidden base, this whole ramp, that platform will slide in there. He wanted more space because Vincent, like you were saying, in Rogue One, the ghost is barely, you can barely see it out there. And I assume I don't recall. I don't think it shows it in A New Hope, but I think that's where we kind of understand the Falcon to be as well.
I remember A New Hope. You see the Falcon coming in over the trees, and then it cuts to them inside the hangar.
Right. So it doesn't actually show it sitting out.
Yeah,
out front,
you see the temple from like a distance, but you never actually get up close. That's more of a Rebels and Rogue One.
Yeah, but I think in Battlefront 2, I believe they did put it outside the.
Yes,
right. I was just about to say that. I love that so much, and that's where my brain went. So that's so fun.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess they were kind of, trying to answer the same question. Like where was it? And we didn't see it out there. And in that big shot in the movie, I'm surprised that in the special editions they didn't insert it. Because there's space out there for it. But maybe they will one day.
The special editions, in 2027 or
whatever. Right. But
and then you have like the Echo base where like the Falcon's all the way in the Echo base,
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's way back there. Like it's like barely any room for it to move. But anyway, he wanted space out there for more ships, and I was like, wow, you're absolutely right. Like that doesn't cut it. Just stuff them all in the hangar. It looks super cool seeing in there, but there's no more room out front for ships to land as far as playability goes for him. So trying to incorporate those features in as much as I have been able to.
Yeah, dude, I think that's wonderful. I really do. It's like I said, you've thought of everything, man, and it shows. But I love these little discoveries that you make along the way, especially with your son. And with Carbonites, you take one look at the website, and it's a lot of hidden language that only a fan of the franchise would really get to know how to navigate. But I'm surprised that the things I learn coming from people who maybe aren't as into the fandom, and it's just a very casual conversation, and getting to hear their perspective. But the one thing that I've not tapped in with my business is getting the perspective of somebody as young as, let's say, your son. I've always tried to go for things that the adults would put 2 and 2 together with. But Tommy said it earlier in the chat. Hybrid, you said it earlier, that Yoda quote. you can't underestimate that child wonder of it all, and knowing that this works. Cube Squadron works for his brain just as much as it does for our adult collecting brains. And then even yours with your parenting brain, with wanting to have it high up so it's out of reach of the twins.
Right.
It's so cool that just with those stories, you're getting, some demographic data and what's really working for who. And you said it best, in terms of applying that wash, if that's daunting, your son was able to do that. And if 3D printing to somebody's daunting, you're going to have that kit ready for them. So
exactly,
you're thinking of everybody here. And although this screams, the hardcore collector, it's going to pull people like me in who have never touched Micro Galaxy Squadron.
I'm glad to hear that. That means a lot, Vincent. Thank you.
Yeah, your pool is just tremendous. And, for me, and it shows with my work, but I was always obsessed with like character pairings with like Hasbro's Galactic Heroes line, or even like those comic 2-packs. I just love how characters are packaged together. And that's something I take with a great deal of importance with Carbonites. And I'll tell you what it was. It was the Micro Galaxy Squadron set for Revenge of the Sith. I think it was a Target exclusive. And it was like a Tri-Fighter, a Vulture Droid, Revenge of the Sith Interceptor for Anakin and Obi-Wan. That box set to me was like, it almost pulled me in because I just loved the pairing. It was so cool.
It's a great one. Yeah, you get the whole sequence, the whole scene right there.
Right.
All the ships that are included. Yeah.
The greatest opening ever, if you will.
Yeah.
If you will. But Cassidy, is there any other things in terms of Cube Squadron that we didn't touch on, or anything that you want to plug about this awesome Kickstarter and campaign that you're creating here?
Yeah, well, again, just I want to thank you guys for giving me the opportunity to talk about it. It means a lot. I know I'm kind of a stranger in this world, and
hey,
I haven't been able to come out and talk about the project because I'm just super busy trying to finish it and making changes, listening to what people are, listening to feedback, suggestions. Some people have had some really good ideas, and I'm trying to integrate realistically what I can into the project. So thank you first for having me on.
Yeah.
The other thing is,
we're always happy to talk anything cool going on.
Yeah.
Like I said, a couple months back, like you said, you've only been on Instagram pushing these for about 2 months or so. I just remember seeing a post and I was just like, is that Micro Galaxy? What? Like, I remember the first one I saw was the tie hanger. And I had an idea a while back about, I've got some Walmart bookshelves that used to be my main figure shelves that have been retired in place of IKEA Detolfs. And I was kind of like, man, I should take one of these Walmart bookshelves and make like a hanger for every era on each shelf, just 3D print parts and, use cardboard and whatever I got to do. And I was kind of starting to think that a little bit. And then boom, here's just one I can 3D print, and it's going to be better than any cut up cardboard crap I could ever do. And and I was just like immediately like, yep, nope, this is it. This is what I'm in on. And then when Tommy was saying, like, oh yeah, Cassidy, he's cool, I've talked to him. I'm just like, oh crap. All right, well, we gotta get something going on, because dude, I just gotta. I just gotta be insanely complimentary to everything you've done here. You are.
I really appreciate it.
It's incredibly innovative. Just
thank you.
The interlocking nature to me is just insane. The fact that they all just go together. Yeah.
I wanted to try to make it look consistent and like they belong together, if you want to display them like that. Talking about playability, this is funny. My son, he has some in his room, but he doesn't have them like this at all. He has them kind of at each corner of the room, and he likes to fly his ships on missions to other planets. So completely different use, but the same cubes. So, and that's again something that I definitely wouldn't have thought of,
Sure.
So it's fun to see him come up with things like that on his own.
Yeah,
that is truly wonderful. Yeah, I have to shout out the Sarlacc Digest podcast as well. I know Darth Moocher was in the chat earlier. So that's how I found out about Cube Squadron.
Okay.
So those guys have been doing a great job plugging Cassidy and Cube
They have.
Squadron.
They're
Yeah.
fantastic. Those guys are wonderful and have been incredibly supportive, just like the two of you. And it means so much. And it has kind of helped me come out to this world that I, have just kind of, I've been watching you guys, but to interact with you is nice. And
Yeah.
you're very welcoming, and I appreciate it very much.
You're not a stranger anymore. We talk about the toy community. Yeah, there's a Black Series community and a vintage collection community, but there's a broader, just those of us that like this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Whether
Sure.
Whether your favorite collectible is 1x1 by 2-inch tall, plastic paper wrapped blocks, or if you're 3D printing, insanely highly detailed hangers for your micro galaxy, or if you're just going and buying whatever Hasbro's put on the shelf, or
Sure.
maybe you're a Funko guy, God forbid.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Look, as long as you're a cool guy and you like Star Wars and you're down to talk about some Star Wars, we're good.
Cool.
We're gonna
My
have
kind of people.
So, it was daunting for me doing podcasts. For me, it's like, okay, I could take 2 hours and make a couple Carbonites, or I can, interact with the community. And at first, I wasn't too sure about that transition, because I felt like, I don't have a permanent setup. This is all going to get taken down and moved to another room as soon as we're done here. It's I'm still with the traveling setup, and a lot of time goes in this sort of thing. So,
Sure.
And given all that goes into Cube Squadron, it's kind of amazing that you took the time. So it's our honor, truly. And Hybrid says this often. I'll say it here. Sometimes it takes a village for these things to get out there. But I'm so happy that people in the community have been plugging it away, and your hard work. It's not all just us. You're making it easy for us. You make it so easy to talk about this product, because really it sells itself. But having you come on here presenting just how great of a dude you come off, and what a great family it seems like you have. And
I do have a wonderful family, and thank you so much to my wife. She put the kids down tonight, so she's wonderful. Yeah,
doing the heavy lifting for you tonight.
Yeah.
We appreciate her allotting you a little bit of free time to just hang out with us nerds. So.
Yeah, she is incredibly supportive, and I couldn't do it without that at home.
For sure.
And Vincent, like you say, from the community as well. Like this is, I want this to be for everybody. And this is also why I have spent so much time on, these 7 cubes. I know I could have done 30 in that amount of time, but they wouldn't be as refined and as detailed, and I wouldn't have been able to put my all into it. So that's why it's taking time too. So to hear you guys say that, it means a lot. Thank you for acknowledging the effort.
You're welcome.
Really quick, I just want to thank Stone Mando for hanging out, and hope
Hey.
you enjoy catching the rest on replay.
Hey,
Thanks.
Cody.
And Moocher saying that will we see more Cassidy making the rounds?
Definitely.
As I understand, it sounds like there are many people chomping at the bit to get a little piece of Cube Squadron on their streams.
Here and there, but
you're a man.
You guys are the first one, so yeah, that's special, right?
Well, I'm a trendsetter.
I feel special for you guys having me on, so thank you.
Well, I'm a trendsetter. I found these little block things on Instagram a year ago, and I was like, hey, guys, let's get some Carbonites, and I had to buy a few before anyone jumped on. So, and now I've made Vincent the man that he is. So, I'm a trendsetter. So I'm gonna plug these, and then you're gonna be awesome in a year too, and I'll be 2 for 2. So, and then something else will have to come along, and we'll see if I can't just 3-strike home run.
Right. Well, speaking of Moocher, big shout out to him. He's been giving me some very valuable feedback, and I'm very grateful for his assistance. He's had hands-on access to the files, looking over things, and he's a smart guy, knows what he's doing. Yes. And also Kevin over at Kevin's Microfleet. I don't know if you guys know him. Super smart, knowledgeable guy about the line, and he's also taking a look. He has 3D printing experience, and he's looking over the files as well. So to have smart people looking, testing, inspecting files, it has to happen too before anything's released. So
Right.
big shout out to those guys.
It's just some quality control. You got to get a couple of guys just to tell you, hey, it printed good on my printer.
Definitely. Yeah. And there's a couple other guys. They're not in the collecting Star Wars world at all. They're just in the 3D printing world, but huge shout out to everybody that's lended a hand to make this thing happen.
We have a Delphi commenting, that's not the timeline he remembers. I may have been shown Carbonites by someone, but James, history is written by the victor. So
I'll say time for some clarification. Yes, we have the Hyperspace Heroes. I've alluded to that. I started doing the podcast thing about a year ago. It was in November, end of November. Awesome 3 guys run the Hyperspace Heroes podcast, and they invited me on. And then from there, it was a Delphi Rangers who's in the chat. And then from there, Hybrid learned about it. Then it went to Tommy and Stone Mando, so on and so forth. So it's honestly, it's an honor if we can try to help spread that Cube Squadron lore as well, So,
yeah. It means a lot. Yeah.
Of course.
One other thing I want to say is that for anybody out there, Vincent, are you into 3D printing? Do you have a 3D printer?
Yeah. So actually, courtesy of Hybrid, he taught me everything I needed to know to transition wooden cores for Carbonites into 3D.
Yes. Okay.
Cores.
That's he briefly spoke about that. That's right. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
So you have experience then. You're not completely. It's not completely foreign to you.
Correct. Yeah. It's I'm very much a novice, rookie, whatever word you want, amateur. But I think I know enough, if that makes sense.
Sure.
One totally. Could say he's extremely proficient at 3D printing cubes. So he's,
you got to start somewhere. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I was just going to say, I just want to the hobby of 3D printing itself, and not just the hobby, but from a manufacturing standpoint as well. The technology has come so far in the last decade. It really, really has. And while it's not, the same level as injection molding, it's getting really, really, really good.
Yeah.
And I was going to show, this is just one piece of the Imperial hanger. This is a support-free printed part that you can't even see any layer lines on hardly. And every time I pick one of these things up, it just blows my mind. And the fact that there are no supports connected, even though you have space where it's like defying gravity, it still works. And I just have to praise the equipment and the manufacturers that make these incredible machines, because they're doing something amazing.
I really think, each passing year, we're getting closer to the 3D printer almost becoming a household appliance.
We are, yeah.
Like a computer printer. And if you're never going to use it, sure, don't.
Sure, yeah, exactly. And it's not as common as like a microwave, but I think probably in the next 25 years they might be. They really might be, if not sooner. Really. So
everywhere, it seems every day I hear about a new printer that's doing no layer lines and printing faster than ever before,
Right. Exactly. 2 times faster than the one that printed 2 times faster 2 weeks ago.
I started with a gosh, I just had the name in mind again. A Creality Ender 3. Just the standard little $100 on Amazon, and man, every time the hot end would move, it was like it was programmed with like a whine, like it was almost coming out of the speaker, right.
Yeah.
And I burned that thing out. I ran it for like 2 years, and I made all sorts of cool little crates and stuff to put around my figure shelves. And
cool.
Now I have an Elegoo Neptune 3 Max. I really wanted the big build bet on that. And that thing doesn't do the whine, and it's so much quicker.
Yeah.
And it's obsolete now compared to and I've only had it for like a year.
Right.
What are these bamboos that people are getting on about now, or
that's what I run.
Multicolored filaments making my brain explode, and I'm not. But the fact that it can just and just layer it out in a couple hours.
Yeah.
I think a bamboo probably will be my next pickup. Probably should have been looking at some of these Black Friday specials. But
Yeah, they'll have more. Look for the
Oh,
New
yeah.
Year's stuff, and then afterwards they always have sales
Yeah, there's
popping
always
up.
a deal.
But it's funny. I was talking to Moocher about this, not to like go on get on Star Trek, but as far as like replicators, 3D printers really are like the closest thing to me to like a replicator, and especially with support free printing, when you can open that door and take your or just off the bed if you have an open bed, an open 3D printer, when you can just walk up to it and take that part off and it's ready to use, it's the coolest feeling. I mean, it's like magic. It almost doesn't make sense that it works, but it does. It's incredible.
Right. So yeah, we got people firing off in here about the bamboo being the way.
Yes, yeah, I have a bunch of them too. Right there.
I'm gonna keep my Elegoo, but I might end up with a second printer.
You should try it.
The Ender 3, it still boots, but it's got it prints wonky at this point. It's just kind of it's a relic on the shelf. It's just over there, a little trophy of where I started. But yeah, I wouldn't mind having like two printers. One for the Elegoo for like the big stuff.
Sure.
The Elegoo would be the thing to like print the cubes, the outer box itself on, and then let a bamboo, run on all the fillers.
Exactly. Yeah. So if you have multiple printers, that's the way to do it. Or if you put items inside of the cube while it's printing, you can do that as well. You can arrange it however you want. So a lot of different options.
Yeah. No, I'm really excited to finally get to take a look. I don't know if you heard a bunch of clacking earlier, but I made a Kickstarter account. I followed.
Oh, great! Thank you so much.
You're awesome. One more. I advise everyone watching, go check out the Kickstarter.
Yes, that really does help a lot.
Even if we're just trying to trick them into showing us the two hidden cubes,
right.
Everyone just go up those numbers.
Yeah.
And so Kilogoth Whiskey's asking, can your 3D printer print tea, Earl Grey, hot?
No, not there yet, but I bet somebody's working on it.
I'm a Trek guy too. GalaxyCon Columbus last week, I met Jonathan Frakes and Brent Spiner. I'm a next.
Oh wow, guy, so cool. Yeah,
they were really cool.
That's fantastic.
Yep. No, I don't get behind the conflict of people not liking one or the other. Nope, they're both good. So.
Yeah. In fact, I think I remember you said something in a video. Did you meet one of them? And previously, you had issues with your truck or something.
Yes, yeah. Jonathan Frakes.
Yeah, and he remembered that.
Yes. So,
wow.
Jonathan Frakes, I had met for the first time December of 2017 at Steel City Con. I had a 2001 Chevy Silverado at the time that I had bought off of Facebook Marketplace like a month before. I'd been driving it, I felt confident in it at that point. Pittsburgh's like a 2-hour drive, but I was like, I'll drive my truck. It's fine. I made it about halfway there, and all of a sudden the rear differential started humming, like it was running low on the fluid.
Mm-hmm.
And while I'm looking for a place to pull over, the rear axle locked on me. And so I skid onto the side of the road, and it had broken the rear U-joint, the drive shaft there, and where it pushes into the rear end was backing out, and all the fluid in the rear end was pouring out and catching on fire under the gas tank.
Whoa.
And as long as the truck didn't blow up, it was all repairable, So I'm under there smothering the fire with my brand new Carhartt jacket, my only winter coat. I'd been in Florida for a few years before that, so I was recently back in Ohio, Well, now the fire's out, and now I'm cold, so I have to put my melted Carhartt back on, I got towed home, and I was so bummed. I really wanted to go to that con, and my Nana let me borrow her car. And so I get in her car, still wearing the melted Carhartt, because what else can I wear? It's all I own. And I get to the con at 6:30, closes at 7. And I get in, and Jonathan Frakes was like putting his coat on. He was getting ready to leave his signing table. And I go up and I was like, please, will you do one more autograph? And he looks at me and he's looking a little like what am I looking at? I didn't realize I was covered in like soot and stuff. Like I was a mess. And he's like, yeah, I'll do one more. Are you all right? And I was like, yeah, I was on my way here and my truck caught on fire. And he's like, and you still came here? And I was like, I really wanted to meet you. And at this point, I'm ready to cry. I've been having a bad day.
Man.
He's being really nice to me. He entertained, probably 5 minutes of conversation just about next gen and how much I was loving my rewatch I was doing at the time. He was really nice to me. We part ways, and I never got a photo with him. Well, about a year later, he was at another convention I was at. I finally got my photo with him, and then I figured, hey, I'll get an autograph for my mom. It was like right before Mother's Day, and she's a Next Gen fan too, and so after I got my photo, I went up to his table and I had to make out a photo to Katie, and he's like, you don't look like a Katie. Who's Katie? And I'm telling him about my mom, and I was like, we met about a year ago, Steel City Con, very end of the day. And he looks at me for a second, and he's like, are you the guy whose truck caught on fire? And I was like, yeah, that's me. And he was like, how's the truck doing? And I was like, man, I fixed it, but it's still a piece of shit, and he was really, so it was cool, you remembered me.
Yeah.
But that would have been like February of 2019. So like I met him again now a week ago. So it's been like 6 years. Like Picard wasn't even a show when we met that last time, like he's had a big life event go on,
Right. Wow.
And but we're at Steel City Con, and I was like, hey, we're at GalaxyCon Columbus, and I was like, hey, about 8 years ago, I was having a really bad day, and you made the end of it really good for me. And he's like, I'm gonna need more than that. And I was like, Steel City Con 2017. I came in at the end of the day in a very burned up jacket and covered in soot. And he's like, cause your truck caught on fire. It came back to him. And he was excited. He got up and shook my hand. And, man,
that's great.
I hope you haven't had that go on again. So
that's great, man.
The fact that I've made him recall it a few times, it puts it in mind. So now I'm just the guy whose truck caught on fire. Breaks his mind. But yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. The Comic Cons are kind of like my next big hobby outside of the figure collecting. And so it's just cool. You meet a bunch of neat people and you get some good stories. And, if, the people that participate in the telling of the stuff that we love really love the feedback,
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the times they're just as excited as we are for what's next, I found. So,
yeah.
And something I found through that too also is, people really love to tear the Disney Star Wars stuff a new one. And I'm not saying you got to like it or anything, but man, I think some of the nicest people I've met are the actors for The Mandalorian, for Ahsoka, for Book of Boba Fett.
Mm-hmm.
They really have casted some just genuinely very kind people that give people a lot of grace. And Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka, when I met her, she stayed 3 hours after the end of the convention that day because she wanted everyone in her line to get their autograph, and she didn't want to just rush and pencil whip. She wanted to talk to everyone as much as we wanted to talk to her, and she knew that we'd been in that line for a bit, and just very gracious and kind. And I was always kind of like, man, I wish maybe they'd have stuck with Ashley, but I confess she was very generous to us. And
that's great.
Yeah. She's just a very, very nice lady. And we all know how much I love Amon Esfandi as Ezra. He's, we're tight. We're tight. We've talked a little bit, but just everyone on the cast of these shows, even political or not, Gina Carano was very kind, to everyone in her line. And, so when I see people get online and I hate the casting and everyone acted so wooden, and I'm like, you're being jerks. Like, these are nice people. They are.
Yeah. They only want what's best. I mean, they want the franchise to be successful, and they put a lot of work into it. A lot of things behind the scenes that we'll never see and never understand. and you just got to try to look at it from different perspectives sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, remember there was a time that the fan base talked Ahmed Best onto the side of a bridge. So can we please not do that anymore? You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I really have liked everyone I've met. But so based Commander Riker. So
there you go. Yeah.
No, he is really nice. And thank you. It is a good story, which
It is. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, I'm glad you had a good time, man. It's the love of the game, trying to see somebody, multiple times and just to make the right impression. You can't make, a first impression twice, but on that second or third attempt, man, the question is, do they remember what the first impression was? So you left something on them, whether it was good or not. So yeah, that was an awesome vlog that you did, or like a recap of the event. So
yeah, GalaxyCon was a little bit rough this year. We didn't even get there right at open. We got there like in the final third of the day, and I was like, man, I kind of just want to get my autographs and not really fiddle fart with a video this time. I usually do a vlog, but
yeah.
But I know we're kind of winding down a little bit.
Yeah, we'll try to wrap it up, I think.
Unless there's anything closing to say on Cube Squadron, I know Vincent had a little presentation.
Little tease. I feel like it's a tradition at this point. Any stream I do, I gotta bring a first reveal, first look of something I'm working on.
Yeah, so, let's see it.
Yeah, we'll go pretty quick. We'll try to keep this as close to the 2-hour mark as we can. I see we're at 1:55. So this first image here is just recapping what the newest release was, which was Crimson Squadron, and this falls under the category of movies ANH-1977, featuring 6 pilots, and you can actually catch a in-hand first look review of this case over on the Adelphi Rangers YouTube page. Adelphi Rangers put together an awesome 4-minute little video going on. I've actually not seen it myself, but I'm assuming it's awesome because he himself is just one awesome guy. And it actually was some collaboration behind the scenes to make this case possible. He helped come up with the names for some of these guys, and also just general organization of how the case was going to look, how they're going to be lined up. So that's pretty cool. But then everything that comes next is some new reveals.
Cool.
Yeah, so I always like to tease what the next category is, and have those color stripes kind of help sell what it is. So if you scroll down to the next image hybrid, this is going to come out. Yeah, it's probably going to come out this week. The case on the right, I still have the fifth character to go, and it's a companion piece with a case on the left that has actually been up on the website for over a year now. So it's finally getting a companion piece to go with it.
Nice.
The Republic Troopers case is a very good case. I have that case. If anyone watching this does not have the Republic Troopers case, I advise when you go buy your Separatist soldiers, you just buy 2 cases. So
those are awesome. So these are inspired by 2005 old school.
Yep, classic.
Okay. Yeah, classic Battlefront. The second one.
Yeah, with
those
Carbonites,
are great.
Oh, thanks, man. With Carbonites, I landed on this lucky number of 6 a long time ago, and it just so happens that from the game, there's only 6 classes you get to choose from. So this is just one of those instances where the case, it's like you couldn't add a 7th person if you tried. It's nice and lean. You get to have every playable character from each faction. So
right.
Yeah,
those are great. Yeah, we actually still play the old school one quite a bit. My son loves it. It's kind of easier for him.
Gotta watch those wrist rockets.
Yeah.
Just like the simulations.
Simulations. So many good memes from that classic game, man. Just classic BF2 on the PlayStation 2. That was a childhood classic.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites of all time. It's amazing.
Absolutely. That Galactic Conquest game mode where it was like a board game and you move around and you buy your soldiers, you buy your perks. That's probably like my favorite mini game of all time. That game mode is just
perfect.
Oh, easy.
Fun.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so this is also going to come out in the month of December. Now, there is a lot of reuse that's happening here just because I'm mostly focused on production. Just as like a general heads up, any Carbonite orders are always appreciated, but I'm pretty swamped at the moment. So if you were to order after this stream, absolutely it's going to end up at your house. It just might not be there by the holiday in which you'd like it to arrive by. But it is something that I'm trying to work on things as quickly as I can in terms of production, but I also want to still make sure new designs are coming out as well for the people that are, up to date with everything. So because of that, there's going to be 2 new cases coming out in this line right here, which will bring it up to 3 cases in the line. So this is our pre-existing case for
Yes.
RO-2016. It's a personal favorite of mine, and I'm very excited to give it 2 new companion cases coming out in the next 2 weeks.
Those are cool.
Thank
I
you.
love your art style. It's so unique. There's nothing else like it. It's just fun.
Thanks, Cassidy. Like you, I'm a big fan of consistency.
Yeah, obviously. Well, it's what makes it, what it is. It's super cool.
Yeah, and you also talked about scale with, Micro Galaxy Squadron, how they do that so well. For me, I feel like scale is just it's impossible. Like I'm a Transformers fan, and they try so hard to do scale right with those lines, and
Yeah.
it's just every now and then, no matter how much they try, there's going to be the Black Series Balin, who's a short king next to the very tall Shin Hati, that every now and then there's just going to be a discrepancy. So I decided a long time ago, just take scale out of the line. Everybody's going to be the same height. Although I'm always working on jumbo-sized Carbonites, which will come out eventually. And then you can have some scale, but everybody's at least, no matter how big they are, they're always at least going to just have the normal size offering as well.
Yeah,
so,
that's great. I love it.
Thanks, man. So with those next 2 Carbonites, these are going to be teases of the next 2 to enter the RO 2016 line. So one character who's had a version without his blade, and now he gets his blade, and a new templates from those pilots that I just came out with that I was very eager to reuse for new pilots. So,
yeah, I saw your before and after of your pilots. I love the accuracy, the detail on the chest box. I'm not sure exactly what they call that component, but you nailed it. You like really spent some time doing your research on that.
The thing too is like, looking at like Trapper Wolf and Carson Teva, I thought they looked fine, and just goes and refines them anyway. And I'm like, oh wow, they can get better. Like, I didn't need an upgrade, but I mean, obviously, if you can do better, you should do better. And
and sometimes it's just the little things that make a really big difference,
But no, I'm excited. I think these Rogue One cases are going to probably be pickups. I do like some Antok Merrick.
Awesome. Well, hey, thanks guys, and thanks for allowing me to preview them. I'm excited to see how these guys do.
Yeah.
Well, we got to plug one more thing.
I agree, and I have a sample handy dandy, and then we will officially wrap up. Cool. Me too. So, Hybrid, I believe you're going to be covering this in a review tomorrow, right?
Yep, this is going to get my one is going to be part of the review that goes up tomorrow of a wave. Vincent. So, this is a collaboration with something that we've probably all gotten sick of.
Oh, you have the spaces on the back. That's great.
Thanks,
are you going to draw them in there?
No, dude, that'd be insane.
Put your list on there.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm sure we're probably tired of talking about it or hearing about it.
Never.
I have learned so much. I have learned so much about who exists and who does not, and I think it's a great community effort.
Right, Black Series Most Wanted is for the community. This is for everyone out there that wants new Black Series. The promo Carbonite is inspired by the Most Wanted posters, which was an excellent marketing idea that Tommy had come up with. Just silhouettes of characters that we don't have in the line yet. I had to guess on most of them. I think I got them all right, but that's obviously Rune Harko, but I never guess wrong. And Black Series Most Wanted is for the community. This is not Hybrid's Black Series Most Wanted. This is not Tommy's Black Series Most Wanted. This is not something that Blitz Transmissions is putting on for Blitz Transmissions. This is for the community. There is no excuse not to participate, not to plug it, not to share it, because it's not about whoever's running it behind the scenes. It is about the community. All you need to do is you need to come up with the 12 figures you want most in the line, whether it be a character they've not made, a character they've made and you would like to see a redo of, a creature you want a Rancor, ask for a Rancor. Can't ask for vehicles. And you come up with the 12 most wanted characters that you would like to see in the line. And you go over here on Instagram and you open the Google Doc in the description, and it gives you a place to put those 12 characters. You can also download some templates so that you can make fun little social media posts showing the 12 characters that you chose. And it's just the coolest thing you can do. It's participation. If you have ever said, I want this character, or we need this in the line, this is your opportunity, because all of the data will be turned over to employees at Hasbro once we're done. It is being given to them, and we have been told that we already have enough submissions to be taken very seriously. So it's already a success. We've won. So plug it, talk about it, share it, and this is where Vincent comes in, because he decided to be super cool and run a promo. So Vincent, if someone submits their list of 12 and then they email you a screenshot saying that they have participated, what do you give them?
Yeah, so if you submit your Black Series Most Wanted, I'm not so interested in studying your sheet for data purposes. No, I'm not trying to gain anything. I just want to find a way to put a commemorative piece in your collection to commemorate this community event. It's my big takeaway with Black Series Most Wanted and watching all that you guys have put out there. It's not a matter of the effort behind it. It's a matter of the initiative. That just somebody, doesn't matter who, is making this happen, because it's not for that exact person. It's for the community. So we want to know, who are your Black Series 12 most wanted characters? And it could be characters that have also already been created before. You just want to see them done better. You can put a redo on there. You don't have to be a big fan of the line. Like, oh, I don't know who they haven't made. Just put down the characters you like, if that's something that you think you would vote with your dollar when the time comes. And if you do that, all you got to do is just forward the email saying, hey, that you submitted, or just a screenshot that you submitted, or a list, send the list. Because if you made the list, odds are you ended up submitting it. And yeah, I'll send you guys a Black Series Most Wanted Carbonites free with your order of any case of Carbonites. And it's a limited time promo. So who knows? Maybe we'll see you on eBay in 5 years and it'll be worth something.
Am I mistaken, or was there a discount with that too? Or did that not happen?
No. That's definitely a thing. So I'm going to drop my email down below. It's carbonitescompany@gmail.com. If you email me that proof, you're also going to get a 12% coupon off your order of Carbonites for as many cases as you order. 12% isn't a ton, but it's a fun number to coincide with your 12 most wanted.
Very clever.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's very generous of you to do that too.
I needed to verify that because I said it in my review, and I can cut it out if it was. I remember that was part of the initial idea. I didn't know if that. I never clarified if the discount was real. So.
Oh no, you're good. Yeah, no, it's alive. It's a thing, and it's really cool to see some people starting to use it as well. So you'll get the coupon code emailed to you upon submission. So yeah, we look forward to checking out your 12 most wanted Black Series figures, and go check out Cube Squadron on Kickstarter. Go. As soon as this is over, which it's about to be, that's where you better go next.
Thank you, Vincent. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So to wrap us up, because I just got to show off something at this point. These guys had so many cool things going on. I just wanted to share a really awesome Walmart order that I got in today. So Vincent knows what's going on here.
I would do the sound effects, but I don't think I can do it. No,
That's pretty good. I'm impressed. Yeah.
Thanks.
So the other day I saw something online. I think it was Star Wars Collector had shared it about a figure being on a discount for $4 at Walmart. I don't even know if it's still going on. You can pick up Vice Admiral Rampart from the Bad Batch. $4. So count with me. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 Vice Admiral Ramparts for $4 each. Because that's how many it took to get free shipping. And he comes with a mouse droid.
Oh, cool.
That's the entire reason I decided to do it. And Vincent, what did you call this earlier? Because you had me losing my marbles.
The Admiral Rampart hostage pack.
The hostage pack.
Dude,
I despise that term when collectors use it, but yeah, I got like 9 Ramparts I don't even want. So I'm gonna swap some Marvel Legends heads onto them just to make random officers. But
there we go. I think this is a learning opportunity for Cassidy and I. How we cannot underestimate the desire for mouse droids, and maybe there'll be a Cube Squadron for that, or a Carbonites.
Oh, yeah. My logic was shipping was going to be like $6, and I was like, that's another mouse droid. So I may as well, just buy as many as it takes to just get nothing but mouse droids and free shipping. So
goodness me, what are we going to do with you? Those mouse droids.
I don't know. I don't know that you can touch me behind my army of mouse droids now. So, but yeah, I just needed to have that moment with y'all just to show you how the sickness has claimed me.
I'd say so.
Hybrid is removing the mouse droids and returning the figures. I'm not that scummy. I might just take these figures and all their microplastics and start chucking them into some freshwater rivers or something. You know, get them. You know, back in the earth where they belong. But yeah, I might keep my mouse droids. So, and now I have to clean off my bed. But
there we go. Well, I think those were some awesome pickups. I think this was an awesome stream too. So
yeah. Thank you guys again.
There's an ood on my bed, and I didn't know that, so he's a little disturbed right now. But I do also need to give an insane shout out, just an appreciative shout out. I got a Christmas present today from 212 Hunter, who I haven't seen in the chat yet, but I just need to. I knew it was coming, but I was completely boggled when he said it was happening, and I figured it was a prank. But I got the Hot Toys
come on,
Commander Vaughn.
Nice.
And I need to upgrade his Christmas present a bit because I sent him something nice, but not this nice. So
that's a good friend right there, man. That's unbelievable.
We were in Xbox chat like last week, and I was just kind of talking like, hey, like once Christmas is done and I can start spending my money on me, I think Vaughn's going to be my next hot toy. And then about 5 minutes later, he's like, hey, I just ordered you a Vaughn. And I'm like, no, you didn't. And he's like, yeah, Merry Christmas. I didn't know what to get you for Christmas. I'm like, dude, what?
That's a good friend right there.
Yeah. Hunter, 212 Hunter is always a real one, even when he's sleeping, because he is an EP fellow. But
I was gonna say one last thing, guys, before we go, before it's too late. Hybrid, I just want to praise you and thank you so much for everything you've been doing for Toys for Tots and raising awareness about that. It's such an important thing, and many of us, this time of year it gets hectic and we kind of lose sight of what's really important, and that is such an important thing for us to remember to contribute to if we can. So thank you for raising awareness about it and just talking about it, because it is so important.
That is, Toys for Tots is one of my favorite charities, and you've just triggered a 5-minute conversation. So
well, it's important. I'm here for it, man. Right. I am.
Yeah. But Sunday we did the drawing because I was giving away a couple of figures to incentivize people donating stuff to Toys for Tots. That live stream is available to be replayed on the channel. And then on Monday, I posted a video we recorded on Saturday where Blitz Transmissions and I went and bought $300 of toys out of pocket and just put them right in the Toys for Tots bin. So Blitz and I filled an empty Toys for Tots donation box, and then the total donations actually added up to about $400 of value. So we're going to call it a nice flat $700 because of my campaign.
Wow.
Were donated in either toys or cash directly to the charity. And my big logic on it. I'm the idiot that just opened a box and threw 9 ramparts on my bed. You know, whenever I see a silly figure opportunity like that, I throw $40 at it and I don't think twice. Whenever a new wave of Black Series is coming out and I find it on the peg at Walmart, I don't think twice. I spend $150 and I grab every one because I want the wave. And I think of so many times where I've seen a cheap Hot Toy somewhere and I've just bought it. And just as a collector, my habits aren't even the most extreme. You know, as collectors, we throw our money around willy-nilly buying ourselves toys all year long. And when it comes time for Christmas, there are kids out there that don't get anything. And some of us are collectors because we still hold fond to some of those memories of opening that really cool Christmas present when we were kids. You know, you got that really cool toy that was your favorite toy. And then maybe as an adult, you know, you wanted to find it again, you know, and then maybe you wanted to get it a friend. I know a lot of collectors have kind of gotten into it that way. And I just think, man, I can spend, I don't want to admit it, it could be thousands of dollars a year, you know, just buying what I want to add to the collection. And, you know, and there's kids out there that aren't going to get one single toy. You know, it's like, I can equally as frivolously decide to spend a week's toy budget, you know, on just some stuff at Ollie's and put in the bin. And I'm not saying that that's everyone's budget and freedom, but man, if you have a little bit of financial freedom and you go into a store and you see they got that bin at the front, think about grabbing a $5 something and dropping it on your way out. You know, it's it makes such a difference to those kids that otherwise weren't going to get anything. At this point, the donation boxes are pretty much all picked up because they got to start distributing the toys now. We're about a week from Christmas.
Yeah.
But if you would like to donate to the cause, you know, it's a little late to go put a toy in the bin, but go make a direct donation right to the charity. You know, it costs money to drive those trucks full of toys around, you know.
Yeah, it does. It does.
It's equally as important as giving them the toys. So you know, I can't plug it hard enough, you know, as someone that spends money stupid ways 99% of the time. You know, I mean, just you know, us collectors are good at spending money. Let's spend it right for this week, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I appreciate you bringing that up.
Of course, yeah.
Always gotta plug it. I've been doing the Toys for Tots giveaway. I think this is my 4th year doing it. It's kind of just become my December staple, and every year it gets a little bigger. So we're gonna keep it up. We're gonna plug it every year, and just see what kind of craziness we can do. It would be cool. Like my pipe dream would be to potentially catch the attention of someone that works in the Toys for Tots thing, and maybe have someone during the off season, you know, come on and just talk about the charity and the importance and stories of it. That would be really cool to do. That might be a fun Christmas in July stream or something. Maybe get people thinking about it a little early.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
So yeah,
it's a very important organization.
Yes, I love everything about it. You know, again, I mean, we all had that favorite toy that we got for Christmas. You know, everyone opened that Nintendo or whatever, you know, whatever your favorite, you know, thing you got was. And, you know, there's kids out there that through no fault of their own, you know, they're not even getting socks, you know, and, you know, we gotta plug them. Yeah, I'm sure there probably is a press office. I don't know if I'm big enough yet. I don't know if I've made enough waves, but I definitely think it would be fun to reach out to. So, or just have
Yeah.
on. You know, I know Bly is a Marine, and that would be really cool. So
Yeah, absolutely.
I should actually probably ask Bly if he's ever had any like involvement, you know, in the Toys for Tots thing, if he has some insider stories, or if he knows someone that then that maybe that could be directed to. Could be cool. But yeah, it's just, as people that spend a lot of money on toys, we should do it the right way sometimes. So.
And odds are, if you're watching this right now, talking toys with the boys, toys means something to you. So, yeah, it seems like a great organization. I work with 3 through Carbonites, and Hybrids, you know, at this point, practically convinced me that it's going to be one that I'm definitely going to be adding to the list that I work with into the new year. And just seeing that video of the good that you guys did, that's really awesome. You know, with Carbonites, the money I make, I have to put it right back into the business. And I'm sure Cassidy's the same way. So, you know, I remember you said in your video that you took your YouTube check for the month and you put it into Toys for Tots. You didn't put it back into the business, quote, quote, to review more stuff. You gave that opportunity to somebody else instead.
Yeah.
Instead of reviewing it, they get the opportunity to play with it. So when you see how big that cart was, that's a lot of memories that you made, and you might never get to see those memories made with those toys, but sure enough, they're being made, and somebody's heart's going to be quite warm. So it's an awesome thing you did, Cassie. I'm so glad you mentioned it.
Yeah, of course, it makes such a big difference in those kids' lives, and we will never understand, like Vincent's saying, but you know, it's important that we not forget it. And thank you for reminding us and for making a conscious effort to do the videos and talk about it. It's important, very, very important.
It is.
Appreciate it. And yeah, everyone watching, if you're suddenly feeling a strong urge to do good, go to the Toys for Tots website and go ahead and participate if you feel and are capable. And I think that's probably the note that we want to maybe start wrapping up on. But
yeah.
So Cassidy, thank you so much for coming on. And
of course, thank you for having me.
Of course,
I'm honored.
You know, I mean, you make some amazing Instagram posts. I feel way more educated on just the brand and the process. And
good. I'm glad they're doing their job.
You know, and you know, sometimes it's just more motivating to just get to know the guy behind the scenes a little bit too. You know,
sure.
And it's nice to know that there's a really cool Micro Galaxy Squadron third-party thing going on, and it's ran by a really cool guy that's got the right incentive and motivations behind it. And I foresee it doing very well. As mentioned, there's a lot of people that are going to be plugging you here in the next couple of months, and you're going to be a face that we see in a lot of live streams, I hope. And really excited just to see how things develop. And I hope you get those 1,000 followers on Kickstarter really quick, because I would like to know what the hidden 2 are.
Well, thank you so much, Hybrid. It means a lot. I appreciate you supporting me, you know, out of the gate, and for having me and helping me spread word about it. It means a lot. And
to Vincent, you're all right, I guess. So
yeah, I'm all right. Yeah, everybody knows me here, so it's
old news.
It's old news at this point. So
we don't even want Carbonites anymore. We want cubes. We want cubes.
There we go.
So
yes, go check out. Don't check me out. Check out Cube Squadron.
No, check him out too. Yeah.
And Hybrid has an awesome Carbonites review coming out tomorrow, so be sure to check that out as well. And everybody, have a good night. Thanks so much for kicking it with us. It's been a blast.
Absolutely. Thanks, everybody.
So until next time, I hope everyone's got a good one. See you.
Take care.